What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Mac on Sports podcast. We're off to a better start than last episode, as I forgot the intro. But let me tell you guys, it is 1:23 in the morning, and I was determined to get this podcast out to you guys. I can't tell you how tired I am right now, but I played the wrong intro song. Now, you guys wouldn't know that because I went back and fixed it. But I played the wrong one. I got them vice versa. Brain's not running on the best of brain cells right now. We're running on fumes. But let me tell you, you know what can get the energy going? The Boston Bruins. The Boston Bruins. I'm so in hockey. Here, let me tell you guys. The best way I can describe hockey is like a drug that's really not healthy for you. And don't take drugs. Drugs are not healthy for you. And people take drugs. And they know it's not good for them. Watching playoff hockey is not good for your health at all. If your team is involved, playoff hockey is a different breed. So if your team's involved, it's going to tug with every single emotion possible of yours. It's going to tug at your heartstrings. It's going to give you high blood pressure. It's just the way it is. Now, when you watch other teams, oh my God, playoff hockey is the greatest thing in the world. You don't have a care in the world. You're enjoying good entertainment, good hockey. Well, let me tell you, with my Boston Bruins, they dropped game one. I was freaking out. You know, you have a 40-year-old goalie in net for the Caps. You let that one drop. Game two comes around. Now things get serious. You don't want to go down 2-0. You go down 2-0, you really have dug yourself a hole. You got to find a way to get yourself out of it. Well, Boston, Washington, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Taylor freaking Hall, baby. I have been very vocal that the Boston Bruins won the trade deadline. They won the trade deadline, without a doubt. Giving up Andres Bork and a pick for Curtis Lazar, who runs the fourth line for the Bruins, and Taylor Hall, former MVP. I think you can live with that. Taylor Hall's lived up to his expectations. This guy's an absolute killer. What a stud. Scores with like 2 minutes left to send it into overtime. And then Brad Marchand, 39 seconds into overtime, fastest goal in playoff hockey history for the Boston Bruins franchise, scores the game winner. Now that got me buzzing. That got me going crazy, running around the house. And that's what you live for. You live for moments like that when it comes into the sports world. Well, that really got me going. So now it's 1-1. Things are quite nice. Well, you come into game three now. Now you got home ice. You're in your home barn. Things are looking good. You're trying to win this game now because this is a big swing game. You want to go up in this series, and you definitely want to you got to protect your home ice. You got to protect your home ice. What a game. Holy. Let me tell you, last night, what a game. The Bruins Caps going back and forth. Washington gets one early because Brad Marchand, I'm not going to lie, so I'm sorry, Caps fans. I did say Tom Wilson is dirty, and I will go to war and say he is the dirtiest player in the NHL. And old Brad Marchand used to maybe be that way, and he's kind of slowly coming back to his old ways. Now, I know Washington, you're going to have your guys back in Tom Wilson. If he does something dirty and cheap, you're probably going to back him up. I do that for Brad Marchand, even though he crosses the line a little bit too much sometimes. He's kind of gotten back to his old ways. He did a stupid penalty, whatever. Washington goes and scores. I believe it was Alexander Ovechkin. Shocker, right? One of the greatest goal scorers in the history of hockey. Well, then the Bruins, Taylor Hall scored an absolutely disgusting goal. Oh my God, filthy, top shelf, beautiful. Gets it 1-1, back and forth. Washington takes a 2-1 lead. I'm freaking out. Brad Marchand goes and gets one. Now you go into overtime hockey. Let me tell you guys, when I tell you hockey is not good for your health, it is really not. One overtime goes down. Chances. Washington hit the post twice. I'm losing my mind. I can't do this. All of a sudden, we get to the second overtime. Boston's got a lot of momentum. Goalie just leaves the puck behind the net, thinking his defenseman Schultz is going to get it. Doesn't get it. Craig Smith wraps around the net. And the Boston Bruins go up 2-1. And I'm electric. I'm electric right now. That got the energy flowing. I was running around the house, screamed like a little girl, high voice crack. I'm telling you guys, join me. If you do not have a hockey team, join me on this Boston Bruins bandwagon. Join me, because this is electric. Hockey is amazing. The Boston Bruins are amazing. This is giving me Team of Destiny vibes. Team of Destiny. So they go up 2-1 in the series. They protect their home barn, which is all you could ask for. And you love to see it. The boys are buzzing in Boston. And I'm buzzing. This is how, at 1:28 in the morning, I got energy because of my Boston Bruins. Game 3, Friday night. Let's go. Now, sticking on hockey for a sec. We're not going to talk all the hockey. We're just going to, one last thing I want to touch on. The Battle of Florida. I gave you guys that recommendation. Say go watch Game 2. Game 2 was nowhere near what Game 1 was. Game 1, they couldn't even go at a face-off without fighting. We get that, whatever. I was kind of hoping that that would happen in Game 2. There wasn't really any scuffles. There wasn't really much. Tampa Bay kind of handled Florida the whole entire game. Tampa Bay goes up 2-0. The Battle of Florida, come on, I need it to be more physical. I need every scrum possible. I need fights. I need it to be chippy. Because it really wasn't chippy. It wasn't much. So I'm sorry about that. But Game 3, I'm hoping we get a lot better, guys. And can be more entertaining for you guys at home watching. Now I want to talk about Louisville. If you guys don't know the story, this kind of just developed over Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon. So former Louisville assistant Dino Gatto is a college basketball coach for the University of Louisville, or was pissed off that he got fired by Chris Mack, his mentor, and threatened to report rule violations regarding recruiting videos and the use of graduate assistants in practice in order to try to get paid for another year. So, that is extortion. Now, I will tell you, the clearest example that we are moving past COVID and trying to get back to a normal life is Louisville basketball doing stupid crap like this. Now, I love this. Chris Mack played college basketball at Xavier, and Dino Gatto was an assistant coach who was his lead recruiter when he committed there. Now, Dino Gatto is Chris Mack's mentor. They've been on the same staff together, and now he has been an assistant coach at the University of Louisville under Chris Mack. Now, I want you guys to understand, threatening somebody to pay you and kind of blackmailing them is a federal crime. Dino Gatto, he went in, and when he's having this argument talking about threatening Chris Mack recorded the conversation, okay, of all this. So now, one of his very, very close friends throughout his whole entire life, his ride-or-die coach, Chris Mack, instead of taking this to the NCAA, that Dino was doing this, he took it one step further. He says, nah, we're not going to the NCAA. We're taking this to the FBI. Okay, well now Dino he could be facing 2 years in federal prison. 2 years for federal prison. Now, here's where I absolutely love this. This is where I think this is hilarious. If you're an assistant coach at Louisville, or someone considering taking an assistant coaching job at Louisville, you have to keep this in the back of your mind. Chris Mack doesn't give a shit about loyalty. Chris Mack will come in and he might send you to jail, just like he might do to Dino. I think that's hilarious. I think, how do you build a trust with your coaching staff? You don't at this point. You don't. Because how can someone trust you now? And I understand, Chris Mack, Dino's going to maybe try to get Louisville in trouble. He had a whole page of recruiting violations, by the way. Like a whole entire page that he could send into the NCAA if he did not get paid a certain amount of money. So once again, the world's coming back to normal because it's Louisville cheating. You guys don't remember Rick Pitino? You guys remember the prostitutes that he brought into the dorms? Where they had to get new ceilings because, quote unquote, they were squirting to the ceilings, which is disgusting to think of. Oh, that's Louisville. That's how they recruit. Good for them. When I can get into so much about Louisville, it's just gross. We're not going to because it can go down a long pathway. But, we talked about the prostitutes. Now you got Chris Mack doing this BS. You had Karen Cypher. So many complicated stuff. Basically, Louisville, cheating and recruiting. The world's coming back to normal. And I would love to see the NCAA hit them with violations. What goes beyond me is how this story gets leaked. I'm sure a lot of colleges probably do cheat in the recruiting aspect. Louisville's on probation. Louisville already has the NCAA on their ass. And here you are, the Cards don't care. They don't give a crap. No, hit them with more violations. And I read a column by Pat Forty, a sports writer, saying, would the college basketball world be better off without Louisville? Because all they do is get themselves in trouble. I mean, I love it because, look, Louisville will never be what Kentucky is. Louisville fans can chirp me all you guys want. You could say, whatever, you beat us this year. You barely even beat us, by the way, and we had 9 wins. And you didn't make tournament, by the way. So let's keep that in mind. You didn't make it. You were just as bad as us. But this is hilarious. Louisville is the gift that just keeps on giving. And it's never going to end. And if I'm a high school recruit, why in God's name would I want to go play for Louisville? Why in God's name would I want to go play for Louisville? It's a laughing stock. It's a laughing stock in college basketball. It's the worst run program in Division I. It is hysterical. And I just can't wait to see what type of more violations they come out with. I mean, this is a guy on your own coaching staff threatening to basically take down the whole program because this coach basically is admitting to, oh, we cheated, but now I'm going to take this if you don't give me my money. You love to see it. Oh, my God. I love Louisville for that reason. It's absolutely beautiful. Insanity. But you got to love it. Now, I want to transition here. Quick note. Severe Wheeler committed to Kentucky. Great player. One of the best guards in the country. Kentucky's back. You don't see many programs going from a 9-win season to a top 10 team in the country next year. Hey, shout out you, Louisville. I know you guys wish you could do that. I'm sorry. You're just not ever going to do that. Whatever. 2013 vacated national championship because you're prostitutes. Whatever. I'm done bashing Louisville. But what led me to this, I know I have a lot of Georgia fans. A lot of Georgia fans that listen to this podcast. So, what do you think about Tom Crean? Why is he not fired yet? Severe Wheeler, best player Georgia had, is now a Kentucky Wildcat, as we just talked about. Anthony Edwards was good, but when he was there, Georgia didn't even make the tournament. Yes, the season got canceled. Georgia wasn't going to make tournament. You had the number 1 player out of high school, and you still couldn't make tournament. And now your 3 best players this year had now transferred out of the program. So, why has Georgia not fired him? Because he's not good. He's a bad basketball coach. At Indiana, he was decent, but he was still bad. One of my weirdest stories ever, I've actually taken a P by Tom Crean. Weird story, yes. I was at a City of Palms, best high school tournament in all of the land. And basically, funny story, if you're a guy, you know guy rule, like there's 5 urinals. I was the only one in there. And he picked the one right next to me when there's 3 other one wide open. Little weird dude, but that's just the way Tom Crean kind of tends to be. Definitely a weird story, but I think that's just the way Tom Crean is. He's a weird looking guy, whatever. And I mean, dude, there's other urinals you could have chose, but hey, whatever. But yeah, I just think, I don't know how Georgia has Tom Crean. Why is he not fired? I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, if you're Wheeler to Kentucky, I like that guy a lot. I think Kentucky's going to be really good. And for all the Louisville fans that have talked shit in my comments and like DM me personally saying how much of a joke Kentucky basketball was, Kentucky's bashing you by 50 next year. And I can't wait to see it. Now I'm done bashing Louisville. It's time to be nice. Let's jump into the NBA plan. I think I'm going to stay with my statement. I still think it is stupid. Yes, we had a great game in the Warriors-Lakers. Amazing. And yes, the Grizzlies, whatever. Did you guys watch the Pacers-Hornets? The Hornets didn't give 2 craps. Pacers win 144-117 over the Hornets. They won by 27. The Charlotte Hornets looked like they didn't give 2 craps. They didn't care. Yeah. Now the Pacers move on. Now the Pacers got to go play the Wizards. Now let's jump into that. Jason Tatum, might be going out on a limb here, right? But basically, Jason Tatum dropping 50 points. I would assume pretty good at basketball. He's a pretty good basketball player. 17 for 17 on free throws. That seems to be quite decent. Now, he's dropped 50 twice this year, and there's been 2 no-hitters thrown on that day. The same day he dropped 50. We're going to get into the no-hitter talk later. But yeah, Jason Tatum's pretty good. I feel like he's the most underrated superstar in the league. I really do. Because you look and you have your Kawhis, LeBron, Steph Curry's, all that. And yes, they're of course the top of the league. But Jason Tatum, he's right there along with the rest. I really do think. Or if not, he will be one day. He's the most kind of underrated. I think he's getting respect that he deserves now. But now we got to go play Brooklyn. And I love Celtic fans with an absolute passion. chanting "We want Brooklyn" during that game, I don't want Brooklyn as a Celtic fan. The Brooklyn Nets are going to smoke us in 4. Let's be real. Let's be real. The Nets are going to win in 4 games. I don't think it's going to be close as a Celtic fan. I'll just be realistic. Brooklyn Nets probably going to win the championship. Whatever. But let me tell you this. If anybody from the Celtics organization's watching this, please fly me up and put me courtside. I want to get in Kyrie's kitchen. I want to get in Kyrie's head. You let me front row, I will chirp Kyrie. I don't care what we do in Game 1 and Game 2. We're going to lose. Game 3 and Game 4, I'm watching this series because 1, I'm a diehard Celtic, whatever. But 2, I want the fans in Boston to give Kyrie so much hell. Chanting F.U. Westbrook, we have no beef with Russell Westbrook, and Celtic fans are chanting F.U. Westbrook. Can you imagine what Kyrie's going to do? Oh my God. I just want you guys to know, Brooklyn needs to win in 4. Because if this goes 5, Kyrie's going to sit out. Because after playing 2 games in Boston, he's going to be mentally hurt. He's going to have to take a personal day for having his feelings hurt. Boston doesn't mess around. Their fans have not had a chance to really tell Kyrie how he felt. Because, look, he either avoids when he comes to Boston, or we haven't had a good crowd. I believe, if I have the date correct, Boston might be opening up to 100% crowds. Oh my God, please, if you're a Boston fan listening to this going to the game, get in Kyrie's head. Yes, we're going to lose in 4, but if we're going to lose in 4, hey, how about we make it fun while it happens? And let's get Kyrie another personal day. Because I don't like Kyrie, all right? I'll join the I don't like Kyrie bandwagon. I don't like what he did in Boston. So, yeah, yes, please. If you're a Celtic, worker, get me up there. Let me go courtside. Let me get in Kyrie's kitchen. Let me get in his head. Let me get into his head because I won't stop chirping. He'll probably try to eject a Celtic fan. If you just say, hey, Kyrie, you stink. First of all, you just broke his heart is in absolute pieces. It's in shambles, falling on the inside. I don't know how he's going to come back from just an absolute devastating statement like that. That's just cruel. Cruel. Probably have you kicked out of the game for all I care. Oh, I cannot wait. And I know it's the Nets in 4. But I'm excited just to see what the fans do to Kyrie. Boston fans, don't let me down. I'm hyping this up. And if you're not going to boo him, if you're not going to chirp him the whole game, come on. Kyrie, in the nicest way possible, it's just weird. There's something weird with him. And yeah, he thinks he's better than look, Kyrie's a great player. Whatever. He's amazing. He's just soft. I hope someone in Boston really... We need Dave Portnoy out there. We need Dave Portnoy to go after Kyrie, just like you would LeBron. But Celtics absolutely destroy the Wizards. You love to see it. Tatum dropped 50. That's just a little tangent I had. Now we go into the Spurs versus the Grizzlies. Well, let me talk about this, guys. The Grizzlies, Jonas Valanciunas, stud. 23 points, 23 rebounds, 3 blocks. That's the 4th time he's done that this season, a 2020 game. Pretty good. Pretty good when you're able to do that, right? Not too bad. Now you look at the other hand, the Spurs. The Spurs have now failed to make the NBA playoffs in consecutive seasons for the first time in franchise history. The first time ever, back-to-back years, the Spurs have not been able to make the playoffs. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Just to think how long they've been around, and this is the first time, back-to-back times, they've not made the playoffs. That just tells you what type of culture they built in San Antonio and how good Greg Popovich is and everything they've done and what type of just, like I said, culture. Culture is really awesome to see. So, Spurs aren't going to make it. It's a little weird not having the Spurs once again in the playoffs. Now you got the 8 versus 9 game Warriors versus the Grizzlies. Let's jump into the most interesting and best play-in game. I still don't like the play-in game, but the Lakers-Warriors, what a game. First of all, we all need to take a second in prayer for LeBron James after a couple of massacre hits he took. Oh my God. It looked like his season could have been over. His career-ending injuries for the brutal shots that he took. Oh, look, LeBron's a great player, but LeBron also is a very good actor. So I can understand why he's now in Space Jam. Because he's very good at acting and being a drama queen. Because, oh no, my face. You're fine. And the NBA referees fall for it every time too, which is an absolute shame. What a shamble. But he got a lot of calls last night, but that's not going to take away from an amazing game. That's not going to take away from an amazing game, right? LeBron did have a triple-double, so I will give you credit. 22 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. He had a game winner. And it was an unbelievable shot, by the way, because it was nowhere near the three-point line. It was pretty far out, drained it. Fair play to you, LeBron. The Warriors go on and win it. The Lakers go on and win it, excuse me. But I would like to say this. Yes, they won. I do feel bad for my Phoenix Suns. These Suns, I want them to prove me wrong. I really do. You get a 2 seed, the best seed the Suns have gotten in a very long time. And you have to play LeBron and Anthony Davis? I mean, what the hell? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You can't get a team no, you don't want to play the Warriors. Who's the 8th seed? It's going to be Washington that's the East. You can't get an easy team? You got to go against one of the greatest players of all time and one of the best bigs in the NBA. That's tough. So that was a hell of a game, though, back and forth. Steph Curry's just on another planet. I mean, if you give me the opportunity, you say, Mac, who are you pilled? You pick one player in the league to build your franchise around. Who's it going to be right now? Well, I'm not going to look. Jason Tatum's definitely high on my list, guys. Celtic guy. He's young. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer, hopefully. Future star in the league. Jason Tatum's definitely up there. And I'm biased. So maybe I would say Tatum. Steph Curry. He's the best shooter of all time. Without a doubt. Can't change my mind. Best shooter of all time. One of the best players of all time. Future Hall of Famer. The Warriors are not a good basketball team. But what Steph Curry does is he has put them in a chance on Friday night against the Grizzlies, if they win, to have gotten him into the playoffs without his partner in crime, Klay Thompson. You also have Draymond Green, who scored 2 points against the Lakers. So he didn't even do a field goal. He didn't score a single field goal. And they were in the game until the wire, at the end of the wire, because Steph Curry makes things happen. That Warriors team is not a good team. Steph Curry is a great player. Steve Kerr's a good coach. But it's what Curry does. Curry can make you good. They can get you into the playoffs even when you have a bad team. You can't change my mind. You give me one player in the NBA, I'm building my team around. It's Curry. And he deserves to win MVP. Even if they lose to the Grizzlies, he should win MVP. And they're not going to make the playoffs if they lost to the Grizzlies. That speaks volumes to how unbelievably talented he is. Now, please, basketball gods, unless you are a Memphis Grizzlies fan, no disrespect, please, for the love of God, do not have a Utah Jazz Memphis Grizzlies 1-8 matchup because nobody would care about that. Nobody cares about that. Golden State Utah is actually a very good 1-8 matchup. That's something I can get behind. So I would love to see that. But the Lakers, Warriors, that was a great game. Great game. Back and forth. And yes, the play-in game for that reason was kind of cool. But at the same time, if you're going to do a play-in game, do an 8 versus 9 game. Because, yeah, the Warriors lost. They still have another chance, another live, to keep their season alive. So that's what I don't like. But I think we should just kept the regular format going. But, hey, it's all a money-making league. And it was cool, though. It was cool. Celtics won, so maybe I have a different say on the play-in where it's not as terrible. But fair enough. What a game. We have the NBA playoffs set. And we got a good series Saturday. It starts Saturday. So can't wait to see Brooklyn absolutely smoke Boston in 4. And we got some good storylines. So we're going to break that down over the next couple weeks here on the podcast. Make sure you're subscribed and listen to every show because I will have you every step of the way. Now, are no-hitters ruining baseball? Or not even ruining it. They're just no fun, are they? Look, there are already more no-hitters this season than there are 20 strikeout games in MLB history. It's May the 21st. It is May the 21st. And there is more no-hitters this season than there are 20 strikeout games in MLB history. MLB has been going on since like the 1800s, 1900s. Wow. So you look, Corey Kluber of the New York Yankees threw the 6th no-hitter of the season, which is the most no-hitters before the end of May in MLB history. That's already one shy of tying the most in a season, right? And 2 shy of the overall MLB record. We're 2 no-hitters away from having basically a record for most no-hitters in a season. We're in May. We have June, July, August, September, and a little bit of October. You got about 5 months left, and you're 2 away. There's just so many happening. You used to think when you saw a no-hitter, oh my God, that's actually unbelievable. Like, you got to turn it on. We got to watch this because this doesn't happen a bunch. Now it seems to be happening pretty freaking good. Pretty good. Pretty good. And it's not good for baseball. You want to watch homers. You want action. No-hitters are cool every once in a while when they're rare, but when it's happening every 2 days, it feels like, that's not as cool. If someone gets a perfect game, hats off to you. That's very good because perfect game is insanely hard to get. That's not as common at all. So hats off to you if you got one. But no hitters now kind of seem to be a common thing. It's just like back in the day, or not back in the day, but a couple years ago, it's like, oh, this guy's throwing a no hitter. Oh my God, we got to turn this on because this doesn't happen. It's happening a lot now. Still pretty cool. If you get a no hitter, it's an unbelievable accomplishment. Unbelievable. But still, just something to think about. Like, yeah. And then Kevin Pillar, my God. If you don't know what happened, Jacob Webb of the Braves threw a 94-mile-per-hour pitch off of Kevin Pillar's face. He looked worse than a UFC fighter getting out of a 5-round fight the next day out of the hospital. Kevin Pillar is one tough mother effer. Yeah. Coming out to do the lineup card the next day with the Braves, like swapping it, just to be showing your face after that. First of all, I don't know how players can come back from something that scary. He has multiple facial fractures. And he's not going to retire. He's going to come back and play when he's healthy. That has to be in the back of your head. I'm so unbelievably happy that he's alive because that is an unbelievably scary situation. You could possibly die from that. 94-mile-per-hour baseball right to your head? That's no joke. But also, it just shows the way the Braves season's gone, right? Hitting guys in the face at this point. Well, most importantly, our bullpen. Let's put that there first and foremost. The bullpen, atrocious. But on a serious note, though, it is really, really good to see Kevin Pillar healthy and unbelievable because that is such a scary situation that he had to go through. So I'm glad to see him healthy on a real note. But that's going to do it. I do have one more thing about Louisville that I want to end the show with because I just love talking about Louisville sometimes, right? Since 2009, Louisville had attempted extortions of 2 head coaches, a hooker for player scandal, buying recruit scandal. Can't forget when they offered Brian Bowen $100,000 and he wasn't even a top player. He turned out to be a bust. Was it Brian Bowen? Might have been. I think it was Brian Bowen. Yes, it was Brian Bowen. Just in men's basketball alone. Now, football, they accused Charlie Strong of cheating with a booster's wife. And then you have Bobby Petrino. We don't even need to get down that road. Louisville, like I've said this multiple times before, you are the gift that keeps on giving. And I love that Louisville will always be the little brother. And I know this is going to piss off a lot of Louisville fans, but hey, I'm just speaking facts. And for your well-being, I don't want to see you guys like this. You're better than this. You're better than this. Come on. You're making the state of Kentucky look bad. Come on now. You're better than this. Get it together. Get it together. I love you guys. Almost 2 a.m. here. Tired. Dedicated to get this podcast out. Because that's the dedication I have. And I do it because I love you guys. And you guys show continuous support. Absolutely unbelievable. I'm running on fumes. I'm struggling to talk. Wow. I'm glad we got through another great show. Let's enjoy this playoff push. Join the Bruins bandwagon. I've mentioned it before. Join it. Because no one wants to see Tom Wilson win. Unless you're a Caps fan. And it makes the shows better when the Bruins win. Because the boys are buzzing on another level, baby. But next episode, we will see what Kyrie, how bad he shredded Boston. And more. It's going to be a good one. I love you guys so much. Thank you for another episode. And we continue to hit career high numbers. Love you guys. Peace out.